All right, this is recording 809. The name of this specific podcast is Listen Next 809. You can find me at speakingtothecia.com. The name of my podcast is Speaking to the CIA. Or you can find me at christinastacia918.com. Okay, or on Twitter or on YouTube or Podbean. Okay, so I'm going to continue here. Okay, so these are more connections based off of my last podcast, the last recordings. Okay, so Germany, someone said she also used the word geranium. So geranium is, besides the flower, which was my favorite flower before it was Indian paintbrushes when I was in grade school, geranium is like another word for like a jungle gym, like a farm, like a romper room. I forget what the word is for it. So like a madhouse. And then also uranium is in that. Okay, so back to the losing bet, okay, and the FBI. Okay, so also libel. She's running a libel racket, which is a lie racket. You're smashing someone's reputation by spreading lies about them, which is what all Jean does, and she does it for money. And she does that to me. And I told you, she's got a whole paid committee that sit around and just make up lies. And they're the same committee that sits around and makes up lies about politicians and famous people. And they're literally in Charles Manson. They just sit around and make up lies and get paid for it. So anyway, also what I want to point out is, okay, so in libel is also losing bet. So libel, lie is in FBI also with rearranging the letters fib, which means lie. And then also inside, Napoleon Bonaparte is also fibula. And your fibula is your calf bone. And then see all my podcasts on my calf. You know what she's been doing for the past 10 years? She always puts in my brain and she makes sound effects in the environment of a cowbell. And it's like all super demonic and shit. I'm sorry, she's putting cursors in my sentences. So, like I told you, she wants to sacrifice me and but she's not going to be able to get away with that. So, also I want to tell you, she has a new terrorism theme. I'm going to check the news, but I know she has a new terrorism theme because I said she's on, like on your birthday in Alice in Wonderland. Okay. So, and on obviously underground. Okay. And Alice in Wonderland, I told you that's all about purgatory. So anyway, I was like, when I was decoding everything that she's done, and I've been decoding her crimes for the past 10 years, I was like, she even freaking did that too, where with the unbirthday, because she's American, but she's un-American. You get what I'm saying? So she even did that, thinking she could get away with it, pretending to not be who she is. She's an American, she's Caucasian. And they're like, you can't even call her un-American because she's got all that tricked out in words. And then also she mentioned in the past week, UMRA, and CLD code on UMRA. I have a podcast on that. She's committing crime there. She's hiding there and using their name. So she's got effect there, Gene Roberts and her Charles Manson occult. But she mentioned them again in the past week in my brain. She also mentioned IPEC, AIPEC. And then she also mentioned NATO. So I bet you she's got terror themes planned there too. And then PB also goes back earlier to grade school when I was in elementary with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and the Wonder Bread. See all my podcasts and that. Okay, so when I went to run away, and somebody pointed out to me today, also, you putting, let me speak, do not speak through me, because you try to steal my identity and my life story. So I have a bunch of people trying to be me and selling my life all over the place, assigning it to a bunch of different fake ass Christinas, and they all pretend to be me, and they have my identity stolen, and they make money, and then they try to silence me and shut me up, and then they think they get the hell away with it all. But anyway, when I put my Barbies and then the peanut butter and jelly, the Wonder Bread, and the knife and the spoon, I put it in a brown paper bag by the door. So also brown paper bag, and then also sack. So that also has BR in it. And then, and then you already know I call Gina gun. Stop. Stop. So everybody already knows that I call Jean Roberts a gunny sacker. She's a gunny sacker. She buys babies. She's a freaking baby broker. There's another BR word. So anyway, something else she did. So she just shot Donald Trump again at the conference dinner. So remember I told you she used the Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun as a theme in shooting Donald Trump? Okay, something else that she did inside the song, Julie Brown is singing, and there's another BR word, which way she thinks, oh my God. I have a lot of people trying to control my speech. So, okay. So anyway, remember I told you in the last podcast about Six Flags and Gurney and all of that and the Tweety Pass. So she used the e-ticket. She used as the Tweety Pass. So she used e-ticket she used the same song again as a theme to shoot at Donald Trump. And then also something else I wanted to tell you is, remember when I could first see that she was getting ready to commit terror attacks? She was using a specific graphical user interface design and web design on websites, and I would see, I don't know if I really saw it on TV, I saw it on websites, because anything that's like my favorite or anything I'm like attracted to or anything that I love, she destroys. And she kills with it. She commits terrorism and she murders people with it. So, anyway, like she uses my life as a machine gun is what she does. So anyway, there's this certain pattern, this certain graphic pattern that I got fascinated with in working in graphic design. I can't even explain it. It was like a vertical, like a rectangular shape, like a banner, but the way that the banner overlaid the background, it's hard for me to explain. I can't explain it to you. I just know it when I see it. And I was trying to recreate it, and no matter what I did, I could not recreate it and make it on my own. And so I went through tutorials trying to figure it out, and I finally got it figured out. It was so freaking perfect. I saved it as a little template. But anyway, so you could tell she was sitting there icing the crap out of me while I was working, and then she starts using that for terror plots. So then if I'd be on a website such as going back to see if back when in my last marriage, my ex-husband would say, I got arrested, can you bail me out? This. So I'd be go to Mesquite Police and then go see if he really got arrested, to go see if he was lying to me or not. But anyway, then I would see the same design patterns show up on their police department's webpage. And I'm like, what the? And I wouldn't see his name there. I'm like, what the heck? And he'd be telling me that he was arrested, right? So I could tell by the way the webpage was that Jean Roberts was hacking the Mesquite Mesquite, Texas Police Department webpage. And then I would see her use this same pattern everywhere. And she was using it like when I lived in Slidell. She would just put this pattern in my environment. And then soon after that, Gene Roberts would commit a terror attack. So what I wanted to point out about that theme was that also goes to Abbey Road, the crosswalk, which is what I use as to signify Gene Roberts. She's the leader of Charles Manson. So she's literally using Abbey Road because she's using the rectangular, and then also if you slice the rectangle and then you get the two A, C, A2, B2, C2. So anyway, also the same thing she would do before she would commit a terror attack is her same theme in using baby buggies or strollers, crossing paths, and then also note path, inlet, outlet. Then another thing she did in her planning to do the World Trade Center attack, remember the ice follies? She did that too. And then also another thing that she did was, remember when I told you I was in grade school and I was living in Globe and I was with my friend and we were learning how to play I don't know whose house we were at. They had a piano and we were learning we were always playing on the piano. And my two favorite songs, I loved Claire de Lune. That goes back earlier from when I was little, from when I was in like really, really little, like first grade, which that's all a part of this too. Claire de Lune. Looney. Okay, and that was on my Fisher-Price record player. She used my Fisher-Price record player. But anyway, my favorite piano song, which I fell in love with, there were two songs. One was You Light Up My Life by Debbie Boone. And the other one, which was my favorite, was The Entertainer. So she used that too. So The Entertainer, ENTER, so there's another inlet outlet. So she tore that up too. So anyway, that's that part of this. And then let me see what else. Also, this gave me the chills. Okay, so remember when I told you I decoded my whole backyard on Easton Cottonwood? It's like a literal map. It's literally a map. I decoded my entire backyard. So a part of this is there were stairs from the kitchen on the top floor that went down the stairs in the backyard. So it was an outdoor set of stairs. And then, Gene Roberts' apartment was underneath us. Or Larry and Gene. They're like Larry and Gene. Larry's girlfriend looked just like Gene. I swear to God, it was Gene. If it wasn't, it was one of her freaking people. But the lady was freaking, I swear to God, it was Gene. She creeps me the hell out. My mom couldn't stand her. I can't stand her. But anyway, so the stairs went down the back of the house. And then at the bottom of the stairs, you're entering the backyard. But in front of the stairs was the back apartment door to Gene and Larry's apartment. So anyway, at the bottom of the stairs on the left on the ground, there was a big rock. So one day I picked up the rock and there was a snake underneath it. And it was a little garden snake. And I decoded all of that out, and I knew all about the snake terror. Well, I was getting to know more and more about the snake terrorism. I was decoding the whole backyard. But anyway, I knew the future terror. I knew the snake terrorism. But what I didn't realize was the stairs is the slope down. And remember I told you her future World Dominion terror plot is a slope down. And then you also know the basement, the outside basement Jean also used that where I was in there mixing the egg dye, but I was making music with the glasses, and she like planned out Never Forget, but she already had Never Forget already planned, but she just ice rate me, and then I'm like, I go back and I decode in time, and I'm like, the whole Never Forget theme is based around me mixing water with these glasses in the backyard. I'm trying to make music with the glasses, and then it looks like Ted Kaczynski's. Then I find out she's in cahoots with Ted Kaczynski, and it looks like Ted Kaczynski's cabin underneath there. I swear to God, the place is creepier than heck under there. You ever seen my previous podcast on that? But anyway, Ted Kaczynski, and then the slope of the line and all. Okay, so, but anyway, the bottom, the stairs is sloped down, and then snakes. So that's some scary, scary stuff right there. I'm just to look back and get scared over that, and that scares the hell out of me, because Jean will just tell you that people just bred trillions of snakes and spent trillions of dollars, and it was everybody else that did it. Jean didn't do it. Jean is perfect. She doesn't know what anybody's talking about, and she just did it to just pick me off, this Scorpio child. It was what Jean will freaking tell you. Because she can't tell you her other freaking lies she freaking tells people, because that's what Jean is. Or she'd be picking off herself. Nobody does that, spends money like that for some stupid ass horseshit reason. If you can't go to the police and go turn in a person like that, you got an effing problem. And if you can't go to the police and turn in someone for using freaking, and you know that they've got freaking swarms of snakes underground, or they're connected to Gene Roberts, and you don't turn in Gene Roberts, and you let the entire United States or any other nation be destroyed, and you have knowledge of what's going on underground, you need to make reports against Gene Roberts. There are trillions and trillions and trillions of them. But anyway, so also the crooked street, that's a slope down. And then you lived at the top of Easton Cottonwood, that's a slope down. So anyway, that's very, very scary. So it's like it's a sign of the future. So anyway, I think, was that all? Let me see what else. That was all. Okay, so that is the end of this recording.